A stranger's ways. Daylight came. Leonardo climbed down the tree, Tatutata on his back. He looked at the ashes from the fire he made. Do you think they are gone? Yes, they only come to the forest at night. The Zixes are now back at Dika Mountain. The Ozalbenegs may still be around, but it is easy for us to see them. Leonardo and Tatutata walked through the woods going northwards. They came to where Tatutata was caught, and around it were the dead wolves. The dead Zixes were gone. Where are the bodies of the Zixes? Zixes do not leave any dead body in this forest. In religious traditions, they bury their dead before sunset. The Zixes probably had won the battle, for they managed to return and get their dead. As they walked some more, they saw the battle place. Bloods were everywhere, and so were the bodies of the slain Ozalbenegs and a few red soldiers. Ozalbeneg warriors were dressed in red clothes made out of bear skins and shoes made out of joch skins, a large lizard living in the woods. Some looked different from the Zixes, a mix of human-like form, but their arms and bodies were covered with dark brown hair. Their long hair was also brown, just like Leonardo's, and they were taller than the average 19. The color of their blood was the same as Leonardo's, dark blue. They are children of the mixed race of Redfs and Ozalbenegs. These are the real Redfs. Tatutata pointed to the two corpses that were lying together side by side, still holding onto their swords. Leonardo's heart started to beat fast, thinking that he would see for the first time a kind that exactly resembled his physical feature. When he looked at where Tatutata was pointing, his excitement was halted. He saw a body with a face of a Bix, sharp eyes, pointed nose, thick eyebrows, large mouth, and bald head. Its skin was dark, its hands and feet were human-like. When he looked at the other one, he felt strange. Its features resembled his, but only smaller, and its face was clean with hair, and it had green eyes. I don't understand. Why do Redfs look different from each other? Leonardo's question made Tatutata confused again. Where did Leonardo come from? Why didn't he know? It is impossible, but the innocence in Leonardo's words made him think of a possibility that Leonardo had not been anywhere in the northern part or western part of the world. But that is impossible. It doesn't make sense. No Easterner nor Southerner resembled a feature like him that he knew and who speak the language Leonardo had spoken. Then he thought of what he saw in the land of the Ozalbenegs. It made him shiver as he looked at Leonardo. Could he be? He erased the thought fast before he even answered his own question. Redfs are different kinds. They are from a society of diverse cultures coexisting with one another. Interracial marriages produced these Redfs. Redfs are from the races of the Bixes and Sumiks, and now Ozalbenegs. Tatutata, who had lived in the West for some years, was an invisible living witness of the changing environment and cultures of the West. Leonardo was about to ask Tatutata more questions, learning that the Redfs, the kind he thought he was, were from the lines of the Sumiks, when they heard a faint voice from afar. Leonardo walked into the direction of the voice while Tatutata collected some items from the dead bodies. All his life since he wandered to the west, he survived by stealing food from the Ozalbenegs, Zixes and Redfs, and from the dead ones left behind by battle or savagery. His shadow-like feature completely made him invisible to the naked eyes of any kind and animals. The Zixes, who had a strong sense of smell, used it to hunt him, and his uncanny ash-like odor made animals run whenever he was near. It was the same odor that made the Zixes believed in his existence, as each time some things were lost, usually food, his odor remained. So much the Zixes hated him. The deaths of some Zixes, young and old, due to illness, were even blamed on him, until a group was formed to hunt him down, to not return until he was found and killed. For years he escaped them. Tatutata knew how to evade them, as he mastered stealth in the woods, using the direction of the wind as he fled. Zixes were skilled marksmen who rarely miss a target, but Tatutata frustrated them many times. The closest that they got to him was when he got caught in their net. Leonardo saw a wounded warrior, an Ozalbeneg, crawling out from a shallow pit. An arrow pierced through his left shoulder and another one on his right leg. He helped him out and made him sit on the earth as he broke the arrows and pulled them out from his body. He screamed in pain, but though in pain, the Ozalbeneg was looking at Leonardo with wide and scared eyes like a ghost in the past. It was the very first time that he saw a living kind resembling something that he was quite familiar with his kind. Judging from Leonardo's brown hair with a mixture of bloody red ones streaking in the middle, and his size almost more than a quarter as his, he knew that Leonardo was extraordinary. Leonardo tore a cloth from one of his clothes inside his bag and skillfully covered the Ozalbeneg's wound. The Ozalbeneg, still in disbelief, watched as Leonardo delicately stopped his bleeding. Nirt Lapuk. Who are you? The Ozalbeneg asked. Leonardo did not understand and looked at Tatutata, who, through the years, became familiar with the languages of the West, who translated it for him. He understood and responded. I am Leonardo. This is Tatutata, Anuga. Leonardo pointed to a shadow beside him, and it was only when Tatutata opened his eyes and smiled that the Ozalbeneg saw what Leonardo was pointing to. This added fear in the soldier's eyes. Don't worry, I am not a ghost and I will not eat you, Tatutata remarked as he gave a smile. How did you get here? Where did you come from? The Ozalbaneg followed up. Tatutata was translating every word to Leonardo. I came from a far place that I am forbidden to say. I am on my way to the Red Land and got lost in this forest. Tatutata lives in this forest and I met him last night when he got caught by your enemies. Nadakasiagnamaslapaknimadna. I thank you and your fallen for saving my life, Tatutata said. The Ozalbaneg realized that the caught creature in the net was Tatutata. He shook his head. No, don't thank us. We just saw a small fire from afar as we were patrolling in the forest. This forest does not burn in the night. It is not allowed and even our enemies know about it. It was the very first time that it happened since years ago. We thought that the Zixes changed and they were burning the woods. We went inside the forest to investigate but some of them were also there, behind us. It was a trap we thought. We were surprised that deep into the woods lurked many warrior Zixes. It was an ambush. We could not go back. We ran retreating to the direction from where the fire came where we saw small number of Zixes. We decided to attack them instead to escape the many Zixes behind us. Unfortunately, we were unsuccessful. We did not intend to save you but to save our own lives. You were just incidental to our escape and survival. I am sorry. Tatutata looked at the Ozalbaneg and translated his words to Leonardo. What is your name? Leonardo asked. I am Calypso, a soldier from the Ozalbaneg land. I lead the frontliners and these soldiers stationed for the night to guard our perimeter. We have not had a fight with the Zixes for some years until this time but still we patrol the forest at times. Calypso coughed up and grimaced in pain. Leonardo took out a container with water and gave it to Calypso. The side of the water container made Tatutata stared at Leonardo. He knew who used them. The Nuga felt silent and watched Leonardo help out the Ozalbaneg. You must rest. You lost a lot of blood. We will bring you home, said Leonardo. Calypso just nodded and closed his eyes as Leonardo stood up and turned his eyes on Tatutata. Tatutata, help me collect some dry leaves and woods. Why? What are you going to do with it? We will collect the dead and we will burn them so their souls shall be at peace. In the place where I came from, we burn those who died in someone else's hands or those who died caused by unfortunate circumstances. We believe that the sooner they join the earth with their ashes, the sooner their souls will be at rest. Tatutata was lost at Leonardo's ways but he offered no objections. Leonardo skillfully made an elevated structure from the collected woods in an open space at the banks of a small river near them. He laid the dead bodies up, side by side, and placed their hands on their chest. Leonardo covered them with dry leaves, branches and woods. He lit a fire and placed it on the perimeter of the structure and the fire slowly grew until it enveloped the bodies. When the bodies turned into ashes and the fire had gone, Leonardo picked up a handful of the grayish-black powder and bent to his knees. He opened his hand and let the ashes be blown away by the wind. The water container made of leaves, the burning ritual, and the way Leonardo spoke perplexed Tatutata in great depth. He wanted to conclude about Leonardo but experience with Leonardo's kind made him more confused. The Zixes. Ozalbaneg saw the large smoke that rose out from the forest and they were all shocked thinking that the forest was burning. When Calypso and his soldiers did not return in the morning, they knew that they met the night-hunting Zixes. For years, the Dika forest had become the burial ground of many scouts and soldiers from the hands of the Zixes. Dianat, a red, the general of the Ozalbaneg army went with hundreds of his soldiers to know the cause of the fire and to look for the night guards hoping that they were still alive. Usually, when scouts and soldiers did not return in the evening, they found their bodies within the forest. Ozalbanegs were only disadvantaged during the night against the Zixes for the Zixes were hard to see with their dark-painted bodies. The Zixes also saw the smoke from the forest. Ishir, the head of the Zixes, questioned his warriors. That smoke, wasn't it the same place where you killed our enemies? The Zixes nodded. Was it possible that there are survivors? The Zixes looked at one another. They all agreed that there were no survivors, except for the Nuga. No, that is not possible. We struck with our spears each fallen body that was lying on the ground. It is not possible that anyone is alive, except for that Nuga who escaped from us, Cassie, the Zixes leader replied. How did he free himself when you said that you tied him up? The Zixes could not speak. Could it be possible that he was freed by somebody else? Cassie looked at the Zixes. No one knew the answer but all were sure that the Nuga could not free himself. The question was left unanswered. Cassie, when we buried our fallen, go back to the forest. Bring more warriors with you. That smoke is unusual. I believe the bodies of those you killed were burned and some kind had done that. Find out. Also don't leave that Nuga alone again while he is still breathing. He has been a curse and a malady to us. I want his blood spilled and his body torn apart. Do you understand?